As I suggested before, one view we might take about the status of morality is that it is just as objective as the status of science. This view is sometimes called objectivism. The basic idea in objectivism is that our moral opinions are the sorts of things that can be true or false, and what makes them true or false are facts that are generally independent of who we are or what cultural groups we belong to. They're objective moral facts. To get a feel for objectivism, consider again one of our examples of a famous scientific discovery. My first example was that the Earth rotates around the Sun. It's intuitive to think that this opinion is true. That is, if I instead thought that the Earth does not rotate around the Sun, my opinion would be false. What makes my actual opinion true and its denial false? Again, the natural view about science is that there is some fact of the matter about the relative trajectory of the Earth and the Sun, and this scientific fact makes it true that the Earth rotates around the Sun. And, importantly, that scientific fact seems to be independent of who I am or what cultural group I belong to. Of course, it's a fact about me that I know this scientific fact, and it's a fact about my culture that it's a widely accepted part of our cosmological theory. But that doesn't mean that it's not an objective fact about the Earth and the Sun, that the Earth rotates around the Sun. If I were someone else, or belonged to another culture, I might not believe that the Earth rotates around the Sun, but the Earth would still rotate around the Sun, regardless of what I believe. I recognize that issues get much more complicated when we consider the status of more fully worked out grand scientific theories like Newtonian physics or Darwinian evolutionary theory. But if we focus just on specific scientific opinions, like the ones we wrote down before, a natural view is that these opinions are objectively true or false. The reason I've been talking about the natural view about science is so that we would have a template for understanding the objectivist view about morality. The moral objectivist thinks our moral opinions, like the ones we wrote down before, are objectively true or false. Is that a good view to take about the status of morality? Look back at your examples of moral and wrong actions. Are you willing to say that any of these opinions is objectively true? For my examples, it's cases like the first one, that genocide is morally wrong, that incline us to say, yes, this is objectively true. If someone disagrees and says, for example, that what the Nazis did in concentration camps during World War II was not morally wrong, we're inclined to think they must just simply be mistaken. That opinion's wrong, false. Perhaps there's some psychological or sociological explanation of how they came to have this crazy opinion, but I don't think there can be reasonable debate about the issue of whether genocide is morally wrong. Perhaps it's incorrect, of course, and it's examples like my second one, that polygamy is morally wrong, which put pressure on objectivism. Many apparently reasonable people disagree, for example, about the morality of one man having multiple wives, or vice versa. Some say that it's okay in certain contexts. According to objectivism, there is an objective fact of the matter, and when we disagree, one side of the debate is right, and the other side of the debate is wrong. And this is decided by the objective facts, or so the objectivist says.